Okay, I'd like to thank our panelists. We're going to move on to our next keynote presentation called Must See TV, How Streaming TV Ads Unlock Brand Defining Moments. And I have with me today, Ali Hayeri. He's the VP of Marketing with Mountain. Welcome, Ali.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I appreciate the time here.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to you to get started.
Great. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. My name is Ali Hayeri. I run marketing here at Mountain. I really enjoy doing these presentations because the nature of the job that I have is I'm a marketer who markets to other marketers. And so when I give these presentations, I'm talking to my peers. And so this is a topic that I really enjoy talking about because when I talk to other marketers, there's always like a well-established playbook of what everybody needs to do as marketers. We know our channels, we know the best practices for those channels. But whenever there's a way that you can get an edge on not just your competitors, but an edge in a way that really helps your brand stand out in an utterly unique way, it's something that's fun to kind of talk about. And my background is marketing through and through. I've worked at a variety of technology companies, and I've done consumer marketing, I've done product design, large companies, startups, the whole nine. And so really, I just wanted to let you know that I'm your peer here. I'm a marketer who values the same things that you all do. So let's talk about this really tremendous opportunity that we have. And to kind of set the stage, I want to talk about a a marketing campaign that really captivated people because of its timeliness. And so timeliness clearly is everything when it comes to advertising. And it's really all about just how do you leverage the right moment at the right time. And a great example of this was in the Super Bowl in 2013. Um, I believe the Ravens were playing. Uh, and in the middle of the Super Bowl, the power went out in the stadium. And it was totally unprecedented. I want to say the power was out for something, it felt like 15 or 20 minutes, and it caught everyone by surprise. And really, the winner of all of this wasn't necessarily the two teams on the field, but it was actually Oreo. Oreo famously tweeted out during that very small window of time where the power went out in the stadium. They put out this tweet: "Power out, no problem, and you can still dunk in the dark." And Oreo became the story. This tweet that they had became the story during that window of time where everybody was almost certainly looking at their phones to discuss what was going on in the Super Bowl. And they did this without a multi-million-dollar budget. Normally, when we're thinking about Super Bowl advertising, we're talking about the ads that run during the game and the zillions of dollars that are spent to get those ads to be shown. And these advertisers crossing their fingers, hoping that the celebrity endorsement that they rolled out is something that would actually be buzzworthy. But in this case, it was an organic tweet that kind of did it. And this is just a great case study in perfect timing with a great message. Being witty also matters too, but it really is all about the timing that made this as effective and noteworthy as it actually was. And if you were to kind of really dig into it and try to understand, well, what specifically made that tweet possible, beyond just the ingenuity, the cleverness behind the tweet or the thought to have the tweet. One other thing that you have to consider, the fact was that the platform was very accessible. And what I mean by that is it worked because somebody at Oreo just needed to log on to Twitter and publish the tweet. You couldn't do that with a linear TV ad, of course. You couldn't go out and shoot a TV ad, negotiate with a network, and then get it to air during that commercial break. That turnaround is far too long. But in this case, the fact that the platform was self-serve, Oreo could just immediately capitalize on that moment. And so with that direct accessibility that they had, really the only constraint at this point was just how long does it take to design the image and come up with what it is that you're tweeting? the platform is not a constraint anymore. The method of actually publishing is not a constraint. And I think that's pretty critical when thinking about this sort of just-in-time kind of marketing. Now, suppose you could do that on television. We just talked about, doing this on linear TV is like nearly impossible. One thing that you see a lot in, the closest thing that you could see to something like this in sports is, when you're watching like a championship game, and what'll happen is a brand will sort of produce two creatives that, just where they don't know who's actually going to win, and they just hope to air the one that corresponds with the actual winner of the event. I mean, talk about heavy lift. You're still going through the trouble of producing two entirely different commercials and standing by to figure out who may win. Again, that's as nimble as you can get with linear TV advertising. But what I want to talk about today is how that would actually work on connected television. Now, connected TV, certainly a big buzzword in the world of advertising these days. But what's happening is not enough people are actually thinking about connected TV as a performance marketing platform. Twitter is a classic digital platform that, again, has that self-serve capability, enabling campaigns that are timely like this. And so suppose CTV was the same way. Well, here's another example that you may have actually heard of, and that involves TikTok. Now, a lot of people may have noticed this viral TikTok video from some time ago where you had this gentleman on the right, he's skateboarding, I think somewhere in Ventura, he's drinking ocean spray, cranberry juice, and he's listening to Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. And it was just a great video. And it obviously went viral on TikTok. What TikTok did, which was really clever, was in a very short amount of time, they turned around and created a TV ad based off of that viral video where they got Mick Fleetwood doing something very similar. And they compiled some other videos, inspired videos from the platform, compiled it and published it as a 15-second connected TV ad. While this sort of meme or trend was still popular on their platform, they were able to, in a very short amount of time, put the video together and publish it. And it was live on connected TV. And this is like the CTV example of like the Oreo situation, where there's clearly a trend, and in a very short amount of time, uh, uh, in this case, TikTok was able to seize upon that trend and publish a commercial for it. They did really lean editing on it because it was all about the content itself. And so, again, it was that turnaround time that really made this campaign as fun as it is. I mean, if it came out 6 months later, people would hardly remember um, uh, what it was actually inspired by. But the fact that it was so timely, it was published so soon after that original video went popular, was what made it really special. And so, again, connected TV is what really makes this possible, because in connected TV, depending on which platform that you're using, connected TV really, is indistinguishable from so many other digital advertising platforms, because again, assuming you're using the right platform, it's self-serve. As long as you have the creative ready to go, you can publish that, and that same day those ads are live and broadcast to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And so this advent of connected TV, among the many other sort of benefits to it, is the fact that it really allows for the sort of just in time brand defining moments that you really want. And so, going back to my original point here, as marketers, we have these established playbooks that we always use when it comes to marketing and advertising. We have these established channels that we always use, but we're always trying to find ways that we can look at platforms and approach our tactics in a different way, so that we can cut through the noise that consumers are constantly subject to. And thinking about connected TV in this manner is absolutely a way where your brand can certainly stand out. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the kind of platform that you would need to be able to execute on a campaign like that. And like I said a moment ago, you really need a connected TV platform that looks, feels, smells indistinguishable from other performance marketing platforms. And so that's been something that's been important to us at Mountain, has been, our legacy is in performance marketing. And so we prioritized building a platform that looked and felt like advertising on Facebook, Google, whatever it may be, because also that's going to be the thing that really allows you to turn things around quite quickly. And so that flexibility, what we're talking about with that flexibility, very tactically speaking, is I'm talking about no reliance on any sort of agency. I'm talking about whoever it is on your team that wants to execute this campaign, assuming you have this creative in hand, you log into the platform, you choose the audience that needs to be targeted, you set the budget, you upload the creative, and you launch the campaign. And the campaign is live, and just like it would be with any other platform. And so just kind of looking at CTV from this digital perspective, looking at CTV as a performance marketer would, not necessarily as a linear TV brand advertiser may. And what you have to think about is first is that this is an audience first approach. This is already the most fundamental difference between linear TV advertising and CTV advertising, because in this case, we're targeting based off of characteristics of the audience that we're looking to reach, rather than just hitting the entirety of an audience who is watching one specific piece of content. Another nuance of advertising on television and how it fundamentally changes when you're looking at doing it on connected TV is this concept of DMAs. DMAs. This is probably with the advertisers that we have on our platform who are coming from linear advertising. This is probably the most common thing we need to sort of deprogram them on, and that's on the concept of shifting away from DMA-based advertising. DMAs, designated market areas. This is the geographies of television advertising or any sort of mass media advertising. But as many know, DMAs are a little problematic when you're looking for some sort of geographic precision. For those that are familiar with the geography of Southern California, for example, the Los Angeles DMA spans all the way from San Diego to Fresno, which is, much more than Los Angeles. We also did a study last year where we were during the election, we were analyzing DMAs, and another interesting one is the state of Delaware. In the state of Delaware, it doesn't have its own DMA. Half of Delaware sits inside the Philadelphia DMA. The other half of Delaware sits inside a DMA belonging to the state of Maryland. So DMAs are an old way of thinking about geography targeting. What we're doing here is this is programmatic advertising. You have far more granularity in terms of your geography targeting. And so you should absolutely take advantage of that as an advertiser. And finally, just like any other performance marketing platform, this is goal-based advertising. So rather than, definitely in the linear TV world of if you're a large agency thinking about upfront commitments or any other type of negotiating your placements, in this case, this is goal-based advertising, just like you would see on Facebook or Google, where you indicate, say, your ROAS goal or your effective cost per acquisition, and you let the platform work towards hitting that goal for you. And so, going back to the concept of audiences, there's two ways to kind of hit audiences here. You can use third-party data providers and the audiences that they present. This is the value of programmatic advertising on other platforms, right? You want to hit people of a certain income and education level with an explicit interest, and you can hit them with social ads. Well, in this case, you could do the same with connected TV ads as well. It's interest-based targeting, but you can also do retargeting. So depending on what your first-party audience is actually doing, this is again like the bread and butter of performance marketing, retargeting ads. You could do the same thing here from a performance marketing standpoint. You can slice and dice your website traffic based off of product categories that are visited, what's in the cart, how long they've been engaged on the website, just whatever it is. You can create segments based off of that and target them with different television creative. Again, the whole point of all of this is sort of rethinking television advertising. And the theme, I think, at this point is quite clear. It's really just thinking about TV advertising the same way you would think about any other performance marketing channel, with the sophistication of audience targeting, performance metrics, goals, reporting, all of that stuff. This is looking at TV and grading it in the exact same way that you would with those other tried and true performance marketing channels. Now, a great case study, just talking about our own platform, is looking at the NBA Finals. So we had a very, very well-known shoe retailer that really wanted to seize the NBA Finals as a moment to kind of elevate their brand. Um, they, like a lot of our advertisers, were a brand that has is a brand that has a huge presence on a variety of social channels. They do heavy duty digital marketing, but they hadn't done any TV advertising before. And so they had the video creative, and they wanted to seize the moment of all of the interest around the NBA Finals. And so what they did was they used our platform. They targeted users based off of their interests, and this isn't like vague interests based off of like major market, young people. We're talking about people who have explicit interests in sneaker collecting, and basketball, and it could get quite granular with the targeting criteria. And since they use that existing video creative, they were able to turn around their TV campaign quickly. I'm talking from the moment that they first reached out, within a couple of days, they were running their campaigns at scale. And just another differentiator between connected television and the linear advertising counterpart is the precision metrics that you get from running these campaigns. So some metrics that you'd never be able to get at all on linear TV advertising are things like cost per visit. With a platform like ours, we have integrations into Google Analytics. We have a proprietary technology called verified visits, which tracks cross-device behavior, and we pixel websites. So we kind of track the end-to-end journey from the impression to the conversion. And so we were also able to track site visits and conversions that took place from this campaign as well. And it was a great success. The advertiser got exactly what they wanted. Going back to this original theme of this presentation, there was a big event, and they were able to be timely, which is what we always want as marketers, is to have that timely message. And so, as we conclude here, really the big takeaway here is bringing that accessibility and flexibility that you get with those tried and true performance marketing channels to television. And how do you actually unlock that? Well, again, you want to identify a connected TV platform that's going to allow you to work in this sort of self-serve atmosphere. So as soon as that moment comes up, whatever it may be, and you want to get that timely message out there, you don't need to deal with an agency. You don't even need to deal with a managed service on the platform side. You can log in and you can upload your creative and run the campaign and enjoy the benefits of that. What's also important is for that platform to sort of be all inclusive. So, you want to be able to do the audience targeting, the campaign deployment, and the campaign measurement all under one roof. So again, it's important to find a platform that does all of that for you as well. And then, of course, targeting the right viewers. This is especially important for those advertisers who are coming from the world of linear TV advertising, and they're used to sort of targeting based off of content. This is interest-based advertising, and take advantage of that ability that you can sort of laser target users based off of their sort of demonstrated interests. And finally, prioritizing performance goals. One point that I make to a lot of my peers, especially the brand marketing peers, is it's no excuse to not track your advertising campaigns just because you're doing brand marketing. It's no excuse to say, I don't really care about all those metrics. I'm just trying to get the word out here. That's no excuse. You need a platform that is going to report back, because even if you're doing brand marketing, you still want some understanding of the effectiveness of that campaign, of the reach of that campaign, and the ability for that campaign to captivate and engage. And there's ways to identify that, even if you are a brand marketer. And so, identifying a platform that has that sort of that background in measurement, that priority of being able to deliver those insights to marketers is critically important. We obviously highly recommend Mountain as that platform to do that. But whatever platform it is that you end up using, this is the criteria that you really should be kind of considering if you want to be able to execute timely campaigns like the ones that you saw here today. And with that, my time is up here. I really appreciate the time and attention that you gave us here today. And I really wish all my peers in marketing the best of luck as you go out there. Thank you for the time.
Great. Thank you so much, Ali, for a great presentation. So interesting to hear about innovations in connected TV. Really cool. We're going to move on to our next presentation. It's actually a keynote fireside chat featuring Valerie Hake, the COO of Dia & Co. So stay tuned for that. And thanks again, Ali.
Thank you.